nano is fine. The FDA's authority over the safety of baby lotion. First, can the FDA require a review of baby lotion for safety before it comes to market?
No, we cannot.
Can the FDA require the manufacturer not to use a toxic ingredient, for example, formaldehyde, in its baby lotion?
No.
Is the manufacturer required to register with the FDA before selling its baby lotion?
No.
So I think my first statement is becoming truer. Once the baby lotion comes to market, can the FDA require safety information about the baby lotion?
No.
If the baby lotion has caused bad reactions in the babies, can the FDA require a recall?
No.
If the manufacturer is aware of the baby's bad reactions, would the manufacturer be required to report that to the FDA?
No.
Well, I think everybody's paying rapt attention here. In our country today, could cosmetic products for sale to use on children or infants with unknown ingredients and no safety review? If the product is dangerous, the FDA would not be able to require a recall. You already said that. Obviously, we need to, I think, empower the FDA to do more to protect Americans. I mean, given all the no's that you just answered, I think we have a real problem on our hands.
You're damn right, we have a real problem on our hands. Here it is. The FDA that is supposed to be protecting you, making sure that what is in your food is good for consumption, they don't give a damn. Excuse my French. They don't give a good goddamn about what you consume. They don't care if it's dangerous to the babies. They don't care if it's dangerous to your health. They are not required to recall it. I mean, you heard the whole thing. Even the ladies, she's speechless. Like, how in the hell, what is their job? Well, their job is to keep their pockets full and to keep you in the hospitals, basically. I mean, keep in mind all what this lady just said all through her, this clip we just seen. Now, check this out. Get a load of this.
This right here is what's known as an ingredients label. It's legally required to be printed on the packaging of food items. And if you happen to be one of those people who stands in the aisles at the supermarket looking for the names of ingredients that you can't pronounce and therefore you don't want to ingest into your body, well, then you've most likely come across the names of several ingredients that, perhaps unbeknownst to you, are actually made using nanotechnology. Specifically, they're made through a process which converts things like silver, copper, gold, aluminum, silicon, carbon, as well as different metal oxides into tiny, tiny, tiny atom-sized particles that are quite literally 1/10000000th of a meter in size. If you want a visual for how small that is, up on screen is a graph from the National Center for Electron Microscopy, and it shows you how a strand of DNA, which is about 2 nanometers in diameter, is about 1,000 times smaller than a bacteria organism and about 1,000,000 times smaller than a raindrop. So that is to say, these nanoparticles in our food are very, very small. Now, some of the more common nano-sized ingredients that you might be able to find in your cupboard right now, if you were to look, include things like titanium dioxide, which is used to increase the whiteness of things like milk, yogurt, and sugar. You might find silicon oxide, which is added as an anti-caking agent. You might find iron and zinc dioxides, which are added to increase supposed nutritional value. You might find different silver derivatives, which are added for sterilizing properties. And you might find a host of other ingredients like calcium carbonate, tricalcium phosphates, and so on and so forth. The list is rather long. However, before we move on, in order to really set the stage for you properly here, let me back up for a quick moment and actually explain to you what this is all about. Starting back in the 1990s, so about 30 full years ago, nanotechnology became widely used in the production of food products. That's because scientists discovered that by adding these tiny little components, they were able to make our food more colorful, they were able to make it brighter, creamier, crunchier, and they were even able to keep it fresher for longer. And besides just adding it to the food itself, well, some manufacturers have also added these nanoparticles to the food packaging. As just one example, up on screen you can see a milk carton which utilizes nanotechnology to act essentially as an indicator of the freshness of the milk that's inside. And as you can see, the color of the box actually changes to coincide with the change of the food that's inside. Furthermore, different researchers also found that adding these nano-sized additives to some medicines made them more effective. However, according to more and more consumer protection groups as well as different health experts, well, there appears to be a catch, which is that while these nanoparticles can provide a myriad of benefits, they might come at a price, and that price is our health. Because you see, these particles are so small, so tiny, that studies like this one here that you can see up on screen for yourself show that they can actually breach the blood-brain barrier. And the ironic part is that the researchers in that study, they were actually looking into this function of nanoparticles in order to treat neurological diseases. Because in order to treat them, they actually need medication that can breach the blood-brain barrier. But when it comes to food, for instance, when it comes to your breakfast cereal, that is not a feature of the ingredients that anyone is looking for. Furthermore, besides breaching the blood-brain barrier, other studies have shown that these particles are also able to circulate throughout the body, to get into and get absorbed by the bloodstream and different organs. They have the potential to penetrate our cell walls, and then they might also, at least potentially, create inflammation and disease. Here's, for instance, what Dr. George Pirgiotakis, who is a researcher with the Harvard School for Public Health, here's what he said regarding this matter, quote, "They may pass through the lining of the gut and enter the bloodstream, which may trigger an inflammatory or immune response. They may also build up in various parts of the body, including the lungs, the heart, and reproductive organs." Likewise, Dr. Rolf Halden, who is the director of the Center for Environmental Health Engineering over at Arizona State University, he was quoted in a recent article as saying this, quote, "We really don't know what the impact of these particles is. Human exposure is increasing, and we lack the tools to even measure what is arriving in our bodies, where it is deposited, and what it does there." Then,
You hear that? That's terrifying right there. So now you know why our food is all messed up. You know why everyone is all sickly, right? Because the people that are supposed to make sure that what you consume is A-okay for consumption, guess what? They don't give a damn, right? And look at the state of the world right now. Look at the state of the world right now. We have, our parents are losing their mind. And, they have dementia. They have all kinds of memory loss. And they're not even that old. All these are like new diseases, right? Amnesia and all that. That messes up with the mind. It's because of things like this. Nanotechnology that can breach the blood-brain barrier, right? You can imagine all the kinds of harm it will cause, right? And the people that are supposed to be protecting you, they allow this. They allowed this. The first clip we saw, everything was no. They're not required to tell you nothing. They're not required to call back dangerous products. They're not required to do this or do that. So what is your job? So what is your job then? What is your mother effing job? Come and finish this out, but real quick. This is Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, and bear with me real quick. Yeah, and the 13th verse, it says, "And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to you brothers and sisters out there that are of the household of faith, and to you brothers that are teaching and pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. To you, I say shalom, right? So the clip was seen, it was very mind-boggling, It was very mind-boggling. Even the protection of the babies are not even a priority, right? And then they'll make all these songs about we are the world, we are the children, the children are the future, this and that, the other. Whereas they don't care. Brings to mind the Michael Jackson song. They didn't even give a fuck about us, right? Or they didn't really care about us, something like that, right? Now you see why. They don't care about you. They don't care what they put in your food. You have GMOs that literally feed you something that is unnatural. You wonder why cancer rate is through the roof. A lot of these diseases are new diseases. It doesn't go way back. It doesn't even go as far as like 100 years or 150 years. They're very new diseases. Why? Because they've genetically modified everything. Here it is. There's nanotechnology in your system right now, just from the food you eat. Just from the food you eat. And they're causing all kinds of inflammatory and sicknesses and diseases and only God knows what, right? And the people that's supposed to put a halt on things like this give it the green light, right? They give it the green light, man. They say carry on, right? As long as they get paid, because they're corrupt to the core. So this is why I had to bring this scripture out, because it says here in Ezekiel, the 4th chapter and the 13th verse, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. That is what we eat. Defiled bread. Very defiled. This is something that is not supposed to be in your system. No way, no how. But we'll consume it on a daily basis. And there is no facet of our food is untouched. Not your vegetables, the meat. You have your meat glues. I mean, it's just terrible the way we live. And the wicked elites will have it no other way. And to feed you all kinds of things. Now they have taken it a whole further to, genetically modified foods. Lab-grown meat. This is meat from, you don't even know, they say it's from chicken cells and, whatever cells they say. How are you to confirm all of this? Even so, that is not a natural way. Right? That is not a natural way. And what kind of damage does it do to the system? Right? They never tell you until the damage is done. You see what I'm saying? So that's all we eat. Defiled bread on a daily basis. Let's finish this out.
He actually went on to compare this unknown impact of nanoparticles to asbestos. Quote, asbestos itself is relatively benign. It's an inorganic material. What makes it toxic and makes it kill 90,000 people a year is that it has particles that lodges in human tissue. Furthermore, there was a study published in July of 2020 by researchers over at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. And in the study, they were specifically researching the effects of titanium dioxide, which is one of the most well-known additives. It's commonly added to things like gum, candy, drinks, milk, desserts, and so on. And what these researchers did was that they gave titanium dioxide to 2 different groups of mice. And in order to isolate the effects specifically to this nanoparticle, one group of mice was fed a low-fat diet and the other group was fed a high-fat diet. And what wound up happening was that both groups experienced changes in their gut bacteria, including the inflammation of their colons, which can lead to abdominal pain and even diarrhea. And although both sets of mice experienced this inflammation, the obese mice that were fed the higher fat diet, they had more pronounced symptoms. Now,
of course, everyone is all overweight, right? People are overweight. People are very sickly. There's never been a time where people are so sick. Even, with all the advancement in technology, they say, oh man, this is the best time to be alive. There's advancement in technology and in pharmaceuticals and hospitals and all that. But how the hell are all these people this sick? From the young to the old. Everybody's all effing sick to the core. You see? That's what it is. That's what it is. It showed you the experiments on the mice. It turned out to, and none of this is good for your gut. And you can imagine what it does to your gut feeling, right? You say you have a gut feeling. This is why people cannot perceive things the way they're supposed to perceive things. They just fall into a trap, right? Because their gut feeling is all messed up. Their mind is gone with all this crap we put in. Like they say, you are what you eat. So once you start injecting or ingesting all these kinds of abominable, defiled food, what does it do to you? You become what you eat, man. You become unnatural in the way you think. You become unnatural in the way you move. You see what I'm saying? That is highly insane. I was watching that, man. I'm like, damn, it's crazy the world we live in. And we allow this. The people allow this, man. This is Ecclesiasticus, the 10th chapter, and the first verse. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And we're living in a world where the judges are unwise, right? And the government, which government means mind control. If you break that word down, they control your mind, they control the way you think. This is why they make it a-okay. They have you thinking it's okay to eat modified foods, right? They have you thinking it's okay to eat bugs and mealworms and all kinds of crickets. And I mean, it's insane. You see? So it says, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Look at the world, man. There's no true order, right? There's no true order. Everything is out of whack, you know? A man can change himself to be a woman can change herself to be a man, and children are allowed to make decisions that is life altering at a very young age. That is no order, right? Everything is all out of whack. Women are above men. There's no order in that. You see, so this is why this present government has to be overthrown, and it will be done by way of salvation from the wicked, through whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose real name is Yahweh Shai, right? It says the second verse, says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such as all they that dwell therein, right? This is why you have FDA allowing things that this has no business allowing, let alone let people, feed on these things. Children, grown folks, whoever, right? Why is that? Because the wicked are ruling. So they are just like the wicked. All they do is carry out the plans of the wicked elite. Right? That's why the scriptures is very clear. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. You have your WEF, have your, WHO, all these institutions, right? All they do is echo the mindset of the wicked elite. And look at the state of the earth. Look at the state of the earth. Everything is all out of whack, right? The third verse, it says, an unwise king destroyeth his people. An unwise king destroyeth his people. Exactly. That's just what it is. They are very unwise. This is why the idea of eugenics is pleasing to them. That is nothing but destruction. So it tells you in John 10:10, the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. That is the unwise king right there, which goes back to the wicked elite. Right? Because they have the world is in their hand, and see the way they run it. You see? So an unwise king destroyeth his people by any means necessary. Through legislations, through food, through poisoning the water, through poisoning the air. There's chemtrails everywhere, right? The soil is all lacking of nutrients because it's been polluted with all these heavy metals that they spray in the air, and it comes down on the earth, right? We ourselves, we are all destroyed and sickly. Our immune system has shot to shit. You see? That is how the unwise king has destroyed his people. destroyed his subjects. And now they even have the Georgia Guidestone. This is nothing. They're looking to do a whole lot of destroying, right? With the Georgia Guidestones. I mean, they took it down now, but it was there years and years. How they want to reduce the population to 500 million. So that's nothing but destruction. And who would think of something like that? An unwise king. So, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Yeah, ultimately we'll get to that. But before that, the unwise king has to do a lot of destroying. Says the third verse. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. So right now, the ones that are ruling the earth right now, they are not profitable. People are suffering. People can't pay their rent. Even though they have a job, they're working their asses off, but they can't afford to pay rent and feed themselves and take a vacation, right? Take care of the children and all that, right? That's the world we live in. You see? So there has to be a change. A change. You were saying a change must come. There has to be a change, man. There has to be a paradigm shift. You know? Things can't keep going on like this. We can't keep turning us into cyborgs. We have nanotechnology inside us right now through what you eat, the air you breathe, whatever, you know, the medicines you take. It's insane, man. It is highly insane, to say the very least. Just a little something, man. I was just going through that. It was boggling my mind like, damn. Look at the world has come to. Look at the world has come to. And we're just there, taking it. All just taking it. And you try to tell somebody about this, they will call you crazy. Like, how the hell would you call me crazy? And what about the people doing this? What are they then? All I'm doing is pointing it out, telling you this is actually going on. You know, hey, with that, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruchaha Kudash, double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.